You know, I'm really passionate about making decisions that align with your faith and your values, especially when it comes to your family. And one area where that can feel really challenging right now is healthcare. Costs keep rising, and it's hard to feel confident that you're choosing the right path. That's why I wanted to share something I've been learning about called Liberty Health Share. It's not health insurance. It's a healthcare sharing ministry, which means you're joining a community of believers who come together to help carry one another's medical expenses. It's people living out the idea that we're stronger when we support each other and show up for one another. They offer programs for different stages of life and different budgets. So whether you're newly married, starting a family, or just looking for a better, more aligned approach, it's worth checking out. If you've been praying about a better way to navigate healthcare, this could be something to look into. You can learn more at libertyhealthshare.org. That's libertyhealthshare.org. Liberty Health Share, a force for good.
They say everything happens for a reason, but I suspect everything happens for a Reese's. Like this commercial break. Did you need 15 seconds away from music? Or 15 seconds to eat a Reese's? Perhaps it's true. Everything happens for a Reese's.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Five. I'm your host, Michael Ware, President and CEO of the Center for Christianity and Public Life. Today is Thursday, August 27th. Let's start with a passage from Colossians 3. If then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. For you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. Put to death, therefore, what is earthly in you: sexual immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, and covetousness, which is idolatry. On account of these, the wrath of God is coming. In these you too once walked when you were living in them. But now you must put them all away: anger, wrath, malice, slander, and obscene talk from your mouth. Do not lie to one another, seeing that you have put off the old self with its practices, and have put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge after the image of its Creator. May God bless the reading of his word. Friends, it's so good to be with you, and believe it or not, we've made it to the end of another week of the Morning Five. Let's catch up on the news. First up, we told you about a lawsuit over the tech company Meta's products, with several states alleging harm to kids. Yesterday, Meta reached a settlement with 47 states and the District of Columbia to pay up to $17.1 billion in penalties, and perhaps even more significantly, to change its apps to build in more protections for kids who may find endless social media feeds addictive. The settlement avoided a judgment on the lawsuit. Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser responded, quote, "The focus of this case was to protect our kids, stopping notifications and alerts at night and when they are in school, encouraging them to take breaks from social media, protecting them against harmful features." He added that he believes the settlement offers more than a federal trial would have delivered. Colorado, California, Kentucky, and New Jersey had sought $200 billion in damages in their lawsuit. Meta separately settled with Texas for roughly $1 billion in penalties. The changes will include a 2-hour per day limit for teenagers on Instagram and Facebook, and restrictions to block them from using the apps between midnight and 6 a.m. They'll also be able to turn off a personalized algorithmic feed, and will get a prompt on their screens for every 15 consecutive minutes they spend on the app. These safety changes will only be in place if kids are properly signed up as underage users. Next up, the FDA approved a drug for pancreatic cancer yesterday, a medicine called Racin Q, which helped study subjects with the disease live more than a year, about twice as long as those who were only undergoing chemotherapy. Former Senator Ben Sasse has been in a clinical trial of the medicine. Pancreatic cancer is one of the most deadly cancers. And finally, for today's quick updates, the sister of the late Senator Lindsey Graham, Darline Graham, won a runoff election to be on the ballot in November for a full term to the U.S. Senate, overcoming a longtime Republican Congressman Ralph Norman. President Donald Trump supported her, making an in-person campaign trip to Myrtle Beach last week. "Pretend, please, that I'm on the ballot," he said at the time. Trump and his allies spent more than $825,000 on advertisements for Graham. She won with 52.5% of the vote to Norman's 47.6%. With that, let's get into today's main story. American country musician, icon Dolly Parton died this week after contending with cancer. Her family announced her death in a video, saying she is with Jesus. She produced music for decades, inducted into the Country and Rock and Roll Music Halls of Fame, but many know her through her philanthropic work too, including her Imagination Library program, which she set up to donate books to kids. Children in the program receive a free book each month from birth until they turn 5 years old. The library has distributed more than 200 million books to young kids. Mrs. Parton died in Nashville. She published about 3,000 songs in her life. She was one of 12 children growing up impoverished in Tennessee. I'll read from a New York Times obituary about her. The Partons were so poor that Dolly's father had to pay the doctor who attended her birth with a sack of cornmeal. Miss Parton may have grown up without plumbing, heat, electricity, and other modern conveniences, but she always insisted that she also grew up happy and that music offered her a refuge from want. "Most of us in the household learned to play early on," she said. "Every time anybody showed up, any uncle or aunt who knew how to play an instrument, I'd have them show me how to play a little bit on the banjo, the guitar, the auto harp, or whatever instrument was around." Now, in addition to her work creating the Imagination Library, she also donated to programs in her hometown. She offered rewards to kids who graduated from the local high school, provided college scholarships, and worked to fundraise for a new hospital for the area. She also helped people whose homes were destroyed in wildfires and the Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville, where she donated $1 million. She later gave $2 million more for vaccines to respond to the coronavirus pandemic and infectious disease research. Christianity Today editor-at-large Russell Moore, who will be appearing at CCPL's upcoming For the Good of the Public Summit in October, wrote about Parton this week, praising her refusal to be embittered by people who mocked her poverty growing up. I'll read from Dr. Moore's column. Parton spoke of her first deep hurt as being made fun of for her clothes. Her mother had sewed together rags for her to wear to school, Parton said. When she made that coat, she told me that story about Joseph in the Bible, and boy, I thought I would just really look just like Joseph. And I was so proud of it and wore it to school. And the kids all laughed and said it was just rags, and I didn't look like Joseph, and that we're poor and all that. Of course, they were poor too, but I guess we were poor. But anyway, I remember crying so hard and hurting, and was even hurt at Mama, because I felt like she'd kind of deceived me somehow. The fact that she remembered that deep hurt is a clue to her psychology, Dr. Moore writes. There was no "how do you like me now" mentality toward the peers who humiliated her. In fact, she seemed sympathetic to those kids. They were poor too. And ultimately, of course, this story became one of her earliest hit songs, Coat of Many Colors. But they didn't see it, the lyrics go, and I tried to make them see that one is only poor only if they choose to be. Let's stop there for today and go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Father, always near us, may your name be treasured and loved. May your rule be completed in us. May your will be done here on earth in just the way it is done in heaven. Give us today the things we need today, and forgive us our sins and impositions on you, as we are forgiving all who in any way offend us. Please don't put us through trials, but deliver us from everything bad, because you are the one in charge, and you have all the power, and the glory too is all yours forever, which is just the way we want it. All right, friends, thank you for joining me today. As always, the Morning Five is brought to you by the Center for Christianity and Public Life. If you'd like to learn more about our work at CCPL, you can visit ccpubliclife.org. Hope you have a tremendous Thursday and a great weekend.